Aloha everyone, how's it going today? Jonathan here, wanted to share a little light, a little insight into my mind, because today I was just thinking about how excited I am to be able to be back in the zone of creation, raw creation, pulling new content from the folds inside of my brain, from the energy within my heart, and putting it down onto paper. This is the rawest form of creativity known to man. We are ultimately creators, right? I mean, think about it. Our divine nature is actually the source of creation. You know, we've been given life in this time, in this world. We've been given life to create. The Creator created us, and now it is creating life through us. It is creating creativity through us. And so I wanted to share a little bit of insight into how to activate creativity, because creativity, I believe, is one of the most important tools to not only getting us into the future, but actually letting go of the past, which oftentimes binds us so deeply, subconsciously, that sometimes we may not even know it. So I want to start off by saying that our true nature is that of creativity. It's the universal law of expansion. The universe is always expanding, and right now it's expanding through us, with us, as us. And so it is up to us to allow that source of creativity to flow through us effortlessly and with the most harmony, right? With the most synchronicity, and being able to be a clear vessel for that. So with that, I think it's so important to first off remember that we have to let go of the old story that maybe you don't have the answer. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. The old story is not going to help us create our future. Bottom line, if you want to activate your creativity, you gotta let go of the old story. Because here's the thing, there is an epic potential for you in your future that we don't know what it is yet, and that's okay. You do not need to know all of the answers right now. That's not what this is all about. And I know that the ego, or the mind, wants to know all of the answers. It's always trying to control everything. It's trying to grab on and say, I need to make sure that I'm ready before I take the leap, right? And it just puts its big toe in over and over again. The ego is constantly in a state of not enoughness. The ego is constantly in a state of needing fulfillment from other sources other than itself right now, right? So when we catch ourselves going into that state of not enoughness, we wake up, we say, okay, I'm ready to activate my creativity. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, before I share that, I want to share a little story about a man named Viktor Frankl. Show me some love if you guys have heard of Viktor Frankl before. He was a psychotherapist and psychologist who was actually in the concentration camps and back in the day, and he was basically doing a psychological study of how some people were able to survive the concentration camps of Auschwitz, and other people were not. Because here's the thing, at any moment when people were in Auschwitz, at any moment that someone lost faith and desire to live because they were taking so much abuse, they could run towards a guard and get shot. They could run and grab onto the electrical fence and it was done. And at any moment, people were taking their own lives, or their lives were being taken for them. And it's like such an atrocity, such a horrendous thing to imagine that was created through Hitler, who, as many of you know, is a very influential person and creator. And so we have the power to create such good. But what Viktor Frankl did, was he saw that some people had the desire to live and some people didn't. And he wondered, why is that? And what he discovered is that whenever someone had a purpose for living, like when they had something deep within them that was causing them to feel as if they deserved to live, that is what helped them desire to fight, to survive, and to create their way through the pain. So at the time when he was in Auschwitz, it was like if someone had someone that they loved, or if someone felt self-righteous and says like, I deserve to live, and they were fighting for that. They were fighting for their right to survive. But then after Viktor Frankl got out of Auschwitz, he survived. After that, he went on to continue studying What is it that drives people to grow and create and expand and to get through the confines of depression and anxiety? What causes people to prevail and some people to not? And what he discovered is that when we have a purpose, when we feel as if we have a purpose, not just like a big life purpose, not like, oh, this is my purpose in life, but rather like when we feel like we have something, some sort of project that we're creating, something that we are giving our soul to, something that we are giving birth to, when we have that in our life, people are less likely to be depressed. Because, I mean, think about it. When you're creating something and you're excited about what you're creating and what you're doing, you don't even have time to be depressed, right? But when you're sitting there loathing in your own negativity and just like thinking about how everything's not working out and, you know, this and that, and like it starts to kind of self-destruct, right? And we get to this point where we finally hit rock bottom. And it's at that point when we have the tenacity to finally wake up, right? We snap out of it. We snap out of the negative thing and we actually wake up. That's like the awakening, right? The spiritual awakening, or just the awakening of consciousness, is that right now in this moment, suddenly we hit rock bottom, we get out of the ego, and suddenly we're like, wow, it's not until you have lost everything that you can do anything. And that's one of my favorite lines from, what movie is that? Fight Club. Such a cool movie. But you know, here's the thing. We have to, if we want to get out of depression, if we want to get out of negativity, if we want to get out of our old past programs, we have to create our way out of it. We gotta create our way out of it. I like this hair, right? I'm growing my mad scientist fro. What do you guys think? Show me some love if you like the fro. So check this out. So basically, here is the tool to start activating our creativity. Now, the first thing is that you have to freaking commit to it. You have to commit to creating something. Now, you may not know what it is yet, and that's totally okay. It doesn't matter. It's not about having control. It's about making that inner commitment that from this moment forward, I am going to start creating, and I'm going to do it relentlessly. I'm going to start creating my future, and I don't know what the answer is yet. I don't have all the tools yet, and that's okay. Just start. Because what happens when we embark on that journey of creation is that we embark on what's called the hero's journey. You may have heard of the hero's journey before, the work of Joseph Campbell. The idea is that each one of us is the hero in our own storyline, our own reality, and we're embarking on this journey. We don't know what's going to happen. We go through the first threshold from our comfort zone into the dark forest of the unknown. And as we go on this journey, we experience many trials, and eventually we discover what it is that we're looking for, right? The ultimate boon, the sword and the stone, the elixir of life, whatever it is. And so it was because the hero made that commitment to start that they discovered it. And so in this case of activating our creativity, what does that mean? Well, I think a best place to start would be to just start writing down what it is that you want to create. And the whole reason I'm creating this video right now is because I have been, for the last few hours, writing a grant application. And as many of you know, grant applications are not a fun process because you're writing something that you want to do but hasn't been done yet, and maybe they'll accept you and maybe they won't. So the whole time it's this ego game of like, oh, you're not good enough, you're not going to get this grant, and then the other side's like, yes, you will, you can do it, right? And it's this constant battle. So I'm like going through it right now, you guys, as you can tell by my hair, and so I'm just like going through it. But what I'm realizing is that, and what I'm remembering, what I'm reminding myself is the power of writing down what it is that you want to happen. Because when you write down what it is that you want to happen, you are literally summoning the power of the universe, the power of the cosmos, which is giving birth, which is giving you life right now in this moment. Literally, the cosmos is looking through your eyeballs. Look, there's a black hole in the side of my eyeball, just like there's a black hole in the center of the galaxy. And between those 2 points is the collapse of time and space. Between the black hole and the galaxy, what we cannot fathom, and between the black hole and our own eyeball, the cosmos is experiencing life. The creator, call it what you want to call it, the power that goes by many names, the omnipresent, omnipotent power that is literally inside of you right now. That is literally the Wi-Fi frequency that is carrying this message to your phone or to your computer. No matter where you are in the world, we are literally basking in the cauldron of consciousness. We are in the cosmic cauldron, swimming around. And now is the time to wake up. Now is the time to access our creative potential. Hello? Universe is knocking. It's saying, hello, I'm trying to create through you. But you're too blocked up by the old paradigm. You're too blocked up by the old story. You got to let go of the story. Let go of the story. Start writing down, saying, what do you want to happen then? What do you want to happen? Whoa. Shift in paradigm. All of a sudden, boom, we start writing it down. Now, this is what happens when we go into the mind lab and we activate the quantum vacuum. We start writing down what are the things that you want to create this year. Start writing it down right now. If you've got a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or a computer and a new note, keep listening to this and start typing. What are the goals that you want to achieve starting in this moment? Start writing and don't stop. It's funny because I just saw some people close out right then. Because here's the thing, is that it's scary. It's frightening when we start to approach the infinite potential of creation that wants to flow through us. It's scary because you know what? It's going to require us to get out of the comfort zone. It's going to require us to get off the fucking couch. It's going to require us to maybe stop eating all that unhealthy food that's destroying our body and clogging our arteries and hardening the cells on the walls of our cells. And then you take that big, deep tantra breath to activate the Kundalini and realize that the creative force, that Kundalini creative force is waiting to be activated. Waiting. It's just waiting to be activated and saying, please activate me. You know, and so many people have issues down here. They say the issues are in the tissues. You know, so many people have because there's all this creative energy that's flowing through us and we're blocking it. We're constricting it from coming out. We're holding on to the old story. We're saying, I don't want to let go, right? And it's binding us. It's holding us back. But maybe just that one monkey of the 100 monkeys, that one monkey that takes the coconut, the sandy coconut that's breaking all the teeth of all the monkeys when they eat the coconuts and they're trying to eat it with it's covered in sand. The one monkey just takes the coconut, drops it into the river and cleans the sand off it and bites it, and then all of a sudden all the other monkeys, that's the 100 monkey phenomenon, all the other monkeys start washing off their coconuts and saving their teeth. And then suddenly the phenomenon spreads to other islands around the same time, and suddenly there's this phenomenon. That's the 100 monkey phenomenon. So what is it going to take, creator? What is it going to take, limitless creator of your reality, to wake up and start creating? What's it going to take? When are you going to embark on following the rabbit hole? And this is what I want to leave you guys with right now. Because the moment that you go down the rabbit hole of creation, the moment that you make that commitment, the moment that you let go of the old story and you decide that from this moment forward I'm going to embark on a learning journey of discovering my creative potential. I don't know what the answers are yet, but I'm going to go for it. And you start going, you start walking that path. What happens? Synchronicity unfolds, revelation unfolds, epiphany unfolds, new insight unfolds, new mentors unfold. Suddenly the synchronicities are happening so quickly that everywhere you go, you see it. Everywhere I am, synchronicity is. And that's a good affirmation. Everywhere I am, synchronicity is. Drops that affirmative mic. Because that's how we do it. That's how we activate it. We have to literally drive it into our subconscious. We have to saturate our subconscious mind with positive thinking. It's not just about positive thinking. It's not just like positive thinking. I'm talking like we have to literally uproot the bullshit and the fear and the drama. The drama that has been instilled into our genetic and our neural architecture. Taking that deep breath. And every time you take that deep breath, that is when it is released. That is when we surrender it. And right now in this moment, that is when we can purify the soul. That's when we can start to purify and oxygenate the body. But going back to that path, going back to that learning journey of discovering what it is that wants to be created through us. You have the synchronicities, and this is it, friends. This is it. Finally, because you responded to the universe's call, because you responded and you said, yes, I will embark on this journey to discover what it is that wants to be created through me. Because you said yes, and the universe responded with the synchronicities and the resources necessary and all the learning opportunities and obstacles, because you said yes and you kept going, suddenly, boom, there it is. The silver spoon. The silver spoon, the revelation, the insight, the thing that made you see the world a little bit differently. Suddenly the world looks a little bit differently, and just that small change in perspective, just that small shift in perspective literally caused you to flip the world upside down, and suddenly you discovered what it is that you were searching for the whole time. And you could have never seen it from the beginning. You could have never seen it in the beginning. You had to make the commitment. You had to embark on that journey. You had to let go of the old relationship, the old paradigm, the old addiction, the old food, whatever it was, that old thing, that old reality that you knew was not serving you anymore. And you made that gut feeling decision. You finally said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to be weak anymore. I'm not going to let the story hold me down anymore, because you guys, I see so many people who are letting the story alone hold them back. Can't let the story hold us back anymore. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. I am waking up. Will you affirm that right now out loud? I am waking up. I'm woke. Woke AF. Woke as fuck. I love this spoon. I didn't even think it. The spoon just came to me right there. And this is the best part, is that like I literally didn't even think of this until just now in the moment. But it was because I told the story that I was able to see the shift in paradigm. Wow. Hey, thanks for the hair love, brother Ben. Appreciate it.